for me, I didn't really saw that as like a super serious kind of a situation, and it's really just trying to shake things up and just announce like there is some truths about Gaza. How are somebody able to leave there right now when probably 85 to 90% or more of the buildings are destroyed or seriously damaged? So where are people going to live and how things are going to go? And how can you rebuild Gaza until Hamas is still allowed to endure? So there's a lot of questions, and where's the money going to come from? So this is about, I think for me, I didn't take it as like a serious situation, and it's just about shaking things up. But I'm not going to freak out on it.
It's a bold move, certainly, far bolder than what's been done before. But I think we've got to stand unequivocally in an unwavering manner, as the whip said, with Israel, our closest ally and friend in the Middle East. And I think if we could bring control of that situation and bring about a lasting peace there, it would do well for everybody, not just in the region, but around the world. It's a volatile place. And I think the strong and decisive move is an important step in that regard. As was noted earlier, Prime Minister Netanyahu being the first international leader to meet with the president in the White House is more than symbolism, but it is a symbol. And it shows the world that we're not going to equivocate. The previous administration did that. They tried to appease Iran and by extension its proxies, terrorists, and they frankly encumbered Israel in so many times. You're seeing a reversal of that now. That is very important development. I think our allies around the world appreciate that. I know because I talked to lots of leaders around the world, and they've been very nervous about the instability there. I think this could be a bold step in that regard. So let's withhold judgment on all of it.
This is an extraordinarily dangerous approach for the president to take and not consistent with American values. The president has simply been treating Gaza as if it were one more real estate development opportunity. It is the homeland of many people. The official policy of the United States continues to be 2 states where 2 peoples can live side by side with security, dignity, and in peace. I hope the President of the United States aligns himself with longstanding U.S. policy.
The President talked about an idea last night. I listened to it very carefully. He talked about an idea. He hasn't fleshed out that idea yet. I feel certain the White House is going to welcome input. I don't think anybody ought to start jumping to conclusions here.
I think what the president's trying to do is find a path forward, and I think what he wants to do is a peaceful approach. He doesn't like it when people are at war. He's made that very clear. And what he's offered is let's talk about the value of this land to begin with, and let's let everybody be reminded that this is a valuable piece of property, and the people that live there should recognize how valuable it could be if there was peace in the region.
I thought this was a guy that was going to end America's endless wars. I don't know if this was just off the cuff, but when you're president of the United States, your words matter. And the notion that he's asking the American taxpayer to take on the whole role of funding this or deploying troops, I find it, I'm not sure whether this was off the cuff or a strategy, but in either case, I think it actually sets back the cause of peace in that region.
I believe that what the president's really trying to say is we've got to do things differently in Gaza, and one thing we can't have for a long-term safe Gaza is Hamas. So I think he's right in suggesting that we need to have a clean slate. The reason I said a kink in the slinky, it may not work out the way he envisioned it or the way he discussed it at a press conference, but I think directionally he's on the right track.
Well, there's taking over Gaza, there's helping rebuild Gaza. Probably needs some clarification on what exactly that means. He's a developer of resorts. I think he sees a good opportunity. But we need to, obviously Gaza's not ours, it's sovereign, it's part of another country, right? And all that needs to be worked out, probably among them, perhaps with a little bit of facilitation from the United States, but clearly Gaza doesn't belong to the United States.
Trump's position on Gaza is absolutely dumb, stupid, and illegal. And the United States will not be invading Gaza. We will not be occupying Gaza. And for the Republican Party and Trump to run as the anti-war candidates to suddenly ask for war, shows you the level of hypocrisy and/or lack of leadership that is occurring at the White House.